Hi everybody, Tori here today with a scrapbooking process video. This one is called Home is Where I Am With You, and I am doing a page for the Wild Whisper design team today. So I'm excited to share with you how I kind of put this page together. When I started this page, I knew that I really wanted to use this photo of my family, and there was a specific journaling card that was really inspiring me. It was this one that says, "Home is where I am with you." And I knew that that kind of fit with the theme of what was going on in the photos. So I pulled it out and I was just going through the rest of the supplies just to see what else I wanted to use. First of all, I just wanted to apologize. I've been sick for about a week now, so my throat is not great. So hopefully I can make it through the whole process video and that you guys can hear me and you won't have any problems. So just forgive me if it's not my usual chipper voice talking today, but I really wanted to get this process video done and up for you guys. So I really wanted to use the Wild Whisper, what's it called? Home collection. Sorry, it's called No Place Like Home. And I knew that that would work really well with that journaling card and with the photos. And I wanted to kind of go with like a yellow, blue, green kind of effect because I had pulled out that one journaling card that had all those flowers on it. And I thought it would look pretty with those colors. I wanted to mix a little bit of pinkish red in there as well, just because I felt like I needed a little pink because pink is who I am. So I knew that there was this, I don't know if you want to call that pink, but it was kind of like this pinky paper that came from the last collection from Wild Whisper, and I knew that that would work really well. So that's from the Focus on You collection. So I grabbed that paper as well as this yellow and this blue, and I'm kind of just playing around with the layers trying to figure out where I wanted to go with it. You know, the crazy thing is that I haven't made a scrapbooking layout or a scrapbooking process video in a really long time, which I'm sure those of you who love scrapbook layouts are painfully aware of, but it's kind of like it's hard to describe, but when you haven't made something for a while, it's almost as if you kind of forget like how to do it. So I feel like I kind of forgot how to make a scrapbook layout. I don't know, that's crazy. So I kind of had to just like play around a lot with the things trying to figure out what would look good. And I really liked this one journaling card that had the giant house on it, but I felt like I wanted it to kind of overlap on top of my photo. So I grabbed out a little cutting mat here and used the edge of my scissors just to trace along the edge of the house. For some reason I couldn't find my X-Acto knife, but this worked really well. I just trimmed it up and fixed it up a little bit with my scissors and kind of created a little space for my photo to kind of slide behind there. And then it kind of looks as if the photo and the journaling card are integrated into one. And part of the reason I wanted to do that was because I really wanted it to be kind of like a straight line between that card and the Home is Where I Am With You card. And that worked well with the photo kind of overlapping and underlapping. Is underlapping a word? I have no clue. And going underneath the home there. So I just did that and I adhered it all together. And then I'm going to use that floral piece and that blue piece as part of my layers. Originally I had cut the blue piece down so it was 12 inches wide, but I still wanted some of the yellow, so I took off about 1.5 inches. And one of the things that you'll notice here is I'm not really measuring. Sometimes I measure and then sometimes I kind of just I go, I think I want it to be like roughly this big. And that's kind of what I was doing here. I wasn't measuring. I was like, I want a strip that's roughly 1 inch wide. So I would pull that out and stick it down and see if it was the right size. And if it's not, you can cut it down. And um, yeah, I mean, sometimes I think we like overanalyze things too much, that we try to like make everything perfect, and it sometimes takes the fun out of scrapbooking. Well, especially for me, kind of just want to go with like what visually looks good to me. So that's why I kind of like cut it and then move it around to see if it works. And and then I had cut that one strip and I thought I would use it beside the pinky red piece, but it didn't like it there. So instead I added a little strip of it beside that floral paper and a little piece under the house. And as soon as I had done that, I felt like, yeah, I really like that. I like the layers here. I feel like there's enough layers. Um, so I think it worked out well. So then I'm going to start to adhere all of these things. And while I'm doing that, I just kind of want to tell you about the photo and why I picked it to go with this journaling card. This is a really old family photo, as you can tell. That's my parents and my siblings and I. I think I probably look like I'm maybe 4 or 5 years old there. I'm beside my dad. And this is a card that my parents used when they went overseas. So I don't know if I've ever talked about this before on the channel, but my parents were missionaries or international workers, and they worked with refugees in England and then in Austria, and then they came back to Toronto and worked with refugees here in the city. And and so they worked in like refugee camps and things like that. And so as a kid, we moved around a lot, especially when I was really young. We moved around because we moved countries, and then even when we moved to Toronto, we moved around houses a lot. Some people like live in one house their whole entire life, but I'm pretty sure I've lived in like 10 different ones. I don't know, maybe more than that. I can't, like, I honestly can't even keep track. So I feel like the whole concept of home is a little different when you move a lot. Like when you live in one place and that's the one place where you've always lived, that is your home. But when you move a lot, like our family did, um, it's it's different. Home means something completely different. And when I saw this journaling card, home is wherever I'm with you, it reminded me of the fact that, like, even though we moved a lot, even though we changed schools a lot, even though we changed countries and churches and friends and moved and all those things a lot, the like what home means to me isn't necessarily a place, but it's the people that you're with, like my family and my really amazing, incredible parents and my silly and adorable siblings, and that's what home means to me. So when I was making this layout, I really wanted to kind of have that idea in the journaling, and I wanted to keep the layout fairly simple because I felt like I wanted the journaling to really speak for itself, and I felt like the journaling cards contribute to that as my title and everything like that as well. So I was trying to figure out how to do the embellishments, so I started by grabbing some flowers, and those come from the Focus on You collection, one of the papers. I just kind of fussy cut them out, as you could see. I added a random label from my stash, and then a couple yellow enamel dots just to add a little more texture and variety there. And on that one tag, I'm going to add the date that I created the layout. I honestly don't know when this photo was taken, so I don't have a date for the photo, but I do have a date of when I made the layout, so I decided to go with that. And then I felt like it just needed a little bit more, so I grabbed a couple of yellow chipboard pieces from Great Paper, and one says together, and I put that in the top right hand corner of that journaling card, and then the other one says delight in the everyday moments, and I added that underneath the label. I did struggle a little bit trying to decide where to do the journaling, just because I felt like the layout was really simple and I didn't want it to take away from that and take away from the design of the layout. So I ended up just adding the journaling around the edges of the page here, and just talked about the things that I shared with you guys about how we moved a lot and how home didn't really mean a place, but it meant the people that I was with. And I'm so thankful for my parents who gave me this incredible opportunity to travel and go to different places and meet new people and to just kind of like expand my worldview. Anyways, that's it for me today. I know it's kind of short and simple, but I'm hoping I don't lose my voice. And I hope that you guys enjoyed it. Check out the Wild Whisperer blog for photos and videos.